Easy. Man, have I just come across a peach of a story here. You're all familiar by now with the row that's raging about the BBC cancelling the songs Land of Hope and Glory and Rule Britannia at the night of the Proms. And I see that the Finnish conductor is being blamed for a lot of this, which I don't believe, by the way. I believe that this is the BBC. Well, it turns out that this Finnish conductor is married to the bass player of the Finnish heavy metal band Stratovarius. Now, if you take a look, you will see that I am sporting a top of Stratovarius. This album here shows them at the absolute peak of their career, which is an album I will leave a link to in the description box where you can listen for yourself, because it must be heard. But then this article goes on to tell several lies about Stratovarius. And the first thing that it says is that the band is obsessed with Hitler, right? Which is an out-and-out lie. They have written songs about Hitler and the Third Reich in the past, but not at any point glorifying it. Okay, my dad watches documentaries about Hitler and the Second World War all the time. It doesn't make him a Nazi sympathiser. Then it goes on to say that the band also courted controversy because they write songs glorifying death and suicide, which is another huge lie. In fact, that band are almost exactly the opposite of that. What they play is a style that I would describe as being melodic heavy metal, fast melodic heavy metal, right? And detractors of that style, which I'm a big fan of, by the way, but detractors describe it as happy metal. Now, does that sound like a band that would write songs about death and suicide to you? No, it's not. Completely not. Just look at some of the artwork that this band use on their albums. As you can see, there is a sci-fi kind of theme running through many of these. This one here is brilliant, by the way. And the absolute peak of their career, which is this one, an album from 2000. Okay? So there you go, there are more lies. And then this is where it gets even funnier now here, because it says here that lead singer Timo Tolkki. Now, Timo Tolkki hasn't been a member of this band since 2006, right? And even at the beginning of the band in the late 80s, he only sung right at the beginning. He's actually the guitarist and the all-round chief of the band who writes all the songs and does all the management and all that sort of thing. He basically led the band. And he actually found a singer to replace his own voice very early on, a guy called Timo Kotipelto. Now, you would have thought, basic research there, they would have known that. But it goes on to describe Timo Tolkki as the lead singer. And Timo Tolkki once said, "I am extremely interested in him," meaning Hitler. "So I have been studying him and his character. I just wanted to write a song about him, and naturally I wanted to call it Hitler Hell Broke Loose. To me, the Nazis and Hitler actually represent the ultimate evil of all mankind." That's not Nazi sympathising, is it? But the label they were on in 2004 forced them to drop this song. Now, that is the label called Nuclear Blast Records, who, by the way, used to specialise in death metal, which is quite ironic, isn't it? But Timo Tolkki there, he was kind of forced to leave the band because he suffered from bipolar disorder and didn't even know it. And he had a mental breakdown which affected all the rest of the band. And they were forced to carry on without him after 2006 when he left to focus on his mental recovery. And Laurie Porrer, the guy who this conductor is married to, took over on the bass player around about that time. So he wasn't even a member of the band when they wrote songs, when Timo Tolkki was there writing songs about the Third Reich and stuff like that. And what I'm quite astounded about here is the fact that they mention the band's 2005 self-titled album, which is actually their only shit album. And it was written right at the time when Tolkki was suffering from the mental issues, which obviously affected the music. And on that album is a song called Gotterdammerung, which is a story of Hitler's rise to power, which doesn't make it Nazi sympathising. But you know what worries me here is that what I'm seeing here is more smears against heavy metal, right? Heavy metal has been smeared by detractors of the sound for decades. And it almost reminds me going back to the 80s when in America, a group of fuddy-duddy senators and parents groups ran an organisation called the PMRC that basically declared war on heavy metal. And it just basically... one guy that was in their crosshairs was the singer from Twisted Sister. Just because he happened to write a song. You're all familiar with the song, We're Not Gonna Take It. Yeah, everybody knows that song. And just because it challenged authority, they absolutely laid into that guy relentlessly. And I thought these days were behind us, but it appears that they are very alive and well. And basic research here from this journalist, a guy called Chris Pollard, would have cleared this up. And the story they're putting forward about the great band that is Stratovarius is just lies from start to finish. So check the description box. Check out the full album of this album here called Infinite there. Take a listen to that and you'll hear that band in their true greatness. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Easy.